If Ram doesn't bring this back, we can officially say that they are dumber than dumb. I'll include a link to the Land Rover in Lehigh's website in the description down below. They're providing us with this TRX Final Edition. Also include a link to my car buying guide. Let's get right into it. The TRX was powered by a supercharged 6.2 liter V8 that goes through an 8-speed, producing 702 horsepower, 650 pound-feet of torque. Now, Ford's new Raptor R has 720 horsepower, so if they don't bring this back with the red eye, again, they'll still be dumber than dumb. You gotta beat Ford, Ram. You gotta beat Ford. I'm trying to hit 500,000 subscribers before the end of the year. I'd really appreciate it if you'd help out with that. Now, the hood styling of the Ram TRX is just iconic. The marker lights and the vent piece there, really cool looking. Now, this obviously has the previous gen headlight style. The new headlights are a little bit fancier that you see on the RHO. And then I love the grille here with the hollow Ram logo for airflow, such a cool point. And then this one actually has an aftermarket front bumper. The stock bumper is great. Aftermarket ones though, like this, make it look pretty cool. But either way, this is an extremely aggressive looking truck, and so not having a V8 option in something that looks this crazy is just silly. And I mean, seriously, the Raptor looks aggressive, but it just doesn't compare to the TRX when it comes to aggression. Now, this TRX also has aftermarket tires and wheels, but they're not really upsized. They just have a more aggressive offset, so it's still a 35 wrapped around an 18-inch wheel. And the giant fenders and fender flares are so cool with the TRX, and you can see that this one has kind of like a satin finish. And that's because the entire truck has been wrapped. Believe it or not, this truck was originally white. Now, the TRX has the Bilstein Blackhawk shocks active system. Same thing as what you have in the new RHO, so great system. You also have a lot of travel with this truck too. And you know what? The world's a better place when you have a key fob that says TRX on it. But yeah, you've got the tailgate drop-down remote start. I mean, this has a lot of features on it, and it's nice looking. And by the way, Ford with the new Raptors doesn't even put the Raptor logo on the key fob anymore. Like, they're cheaping out big time, so if Ram brings back the TRX and doesn't cheap out like Ford, they'll do well. There you can see the original white with the truck, kind of funky. Anyways, you can see we've got bed liner and all of that kind of stuff. Again, Ford always nickel and dimes you for that, but in most of the Rams, you'll see it. Some of them you won't, though, to be honest. Don't get me wrong, the Raptor R sounds great, but listen to this. So not only does the TRX look meaner than the Raptor, it also sounds a heck of a lot meaner compared to the Raptor. And if that wasn't enough, the interior on this thing, as you can see, really premium materials, really nice design too on the door panel. The seats also have really nice trim, perforated all down the center as well. And look at that, the back of the seat, even that is fancy. And you've got really nice trim here around the cup holders, heated and ventilated seats for the rear passengers, USB ports, you got a full outlet in the back too. And of course, just plenty of space in the rear. And if we take a look up front, that theme continues with tons of nice trim. Blind spot monitoring with the mirrors. The mirrors also power fold in, and you've got memory seat functionality as well as a premium sound system. Really cool front seats with the TRX logo, again perforated all down the center. Power adjustments on the side with lumbar support. Not only are these pedals power adjustable, but they've got a nice finish on them. And start her up. Man, it's pretty dark in here, but the steering wheel with the paddle shifters on the back, that's fun. And with the TRX, you get a little bit of Alcantara there at the bottom with some carbon fiber trim there. And of course, it comes with features like adaptive cruise control, for example. Full digital gauge cluster to display all the information that you'd want to see vehicle-wise. And you've got these different views, Baja, Sport, Digital, and then Analog. I think the Baja view is kind of fun, but Sport, also cool. It also has a 360 camera system, great resolution. Small camera view though. And then dual zone climate up front, heated and ventilated seats. The new RHO has massage seats, so they could obviously add that into the newest version of the TRX to make it even more luxurious. And then you can see we've got a bunch of auxiliary switches, so you can add extra items to it, like the lights up front, for example. Full-time four-wheel drive system with off-road cruise control, a rear locking differential, launch control even, and those drive modes for both off-road and on-road use. This whole center console layout is just superior to Ford's. I mean, the shifter obviously does rob a little bit of space, but it's nice to have a real shifter rather than the dial. But yeah, this whole console setup with the lid and just the nice trim on top, it's fantastic. And the glove box even has nice trim. There's more nice trim across the dash. I think this is more luxurious than a Raptor by a long shot. And unlike Ford, Ram has a camera rear view mirror system, and then you've got a big panoramic sunroof. So let's take this out and I will show you guys what Ram is missing out on by not having a V8 in their Baja truck anymore. Let us set off in what should have never died. Now we all know why the TRX went away, because of silly Billy emission stuff. Now don't get me wrong, like I live in Utah, so like if anyone deals with emissions, it's people that live in Utah, because we have these small valleys that are, well, not all the valleys are highly populated, but you know, Utah County, where we're at now, in Salt Lake County, tons of people, tons of cars, and so yeah, we get lots of pollution. So like, don't get me wrong, you know, we're literally like on a daily basis affected by it, but I still think we should have V8s. Because really, like the biggest, like here in the valleys, the biggest source of pollution, like cars definitely have a negative impact, it's factories. That's really what needs the big regulations. And I mean, I know I'm opening up a can of worms here. I know I am. But I don't know, when you look at the stats, you look at how much cars pollute versus how much factories pollute, like it's a pretty substantial difference. But again, cars don't, like they still have an impact, especially like in an area this small. Yeah, it has an impact. But I still think we should have V8s. Because like my thought process is like over the long run, V8s compared to smaller turbo engines tend to be more reliable. And so if you keep a vehicle for 100,000 more miles, so that means the factories have to produce fewer vehicles. That's like just less emissions overall. So I don't know. Like I said, I opened up a can of worms, so I know. I'll deal with it later. Man, sport mode. I've driven several RHOs, and every single time I go from an RHO back into a TRX, I'm like, it's the same thing with the EcoBoost Raptor and Raptor R. Like, if you drive the EcoBoost Raptor or the RHO in isolation, it's a great truck. But once you drive the Raptor R, once you drive the TRX and experience this, you can't go back. You cannot go back. Like, the turbo version is just gonna sound like doggy doo-doo, perform like doggy doo-doo. Like, it just doesn't compare. I mean, I forgot how well TRXs handle. It's crazy that a truck that weighs over 6,000 pounds can basically drive like a sports car and accelerate faster than a muscle car. Like, this thing is insane. Absolutely insane. And the thing that makes the TRX more exciting than the Raptor R, other than the sound, is way better. Launch control. The Raptor R doesn't even offer launch control. It's so cool that Ram built out that feature. So cool. And when you go over a bump, like this thing is so great. The only downside obviously is the size. I daily drove Baja trucks for several years for the channel, and I loved it. Don't get me wrong, I loved it. But I also hated dealing with parking and stuff. It's a pain. The size is a pain. This is what we want, Ram. We don't want, oh, I get 2 miles per gallon better and I put out less CO2. I don't care about that if I'm buying a 6,000 pound wide body 35-inch tall tire Baja truck. What I want is a crazy engine under the hood that has crazy horsepower, crazy sounds, and makes me have to go to the gas station way more often than I ought to because I'm having so much fun with it. It's just like, this is what this truck needs. And again, I feel the same way about the Raptor. I've owned 2 EcoBoost Raptors, and I will never own another EcoBoost Raptor again because I've driven the Raptor R, and I'm like, unless I can go and buy a Raptor R, I don't even want to touch it. And it's just, like, a lot of people want me to buy the new Ram RHO, and it's like, why would I downgrade? Like, when I've experienced this sound, like, just when I've experienced that, why would I ever go to some turbo thing that literally sounds like it's farting? Like, anyone who says that the RHO sounds good needs to get their head checked, because it sounds okay. I was actually extremely disappointed the first time I drove an RHO because it's like, oh, it's got this fancy exhaust system. I'm like, oh, this might sound pretty good. Nope, sounds like doggy doo-doo. So I'm being hard on Ram, but that's what my job is. My job is to say things how they are, and that's how it is. You know, this is such a great truck, And Ram, I understand why Ram got rid of it, but they should have never gotten rid of it. Case closed. They should have never gotten rid of it. It's just, it's too good to get rid of. And so hopefully, because again, from my understanding, the fine for not meeting cafe standards is now $0. You know, Ram should, I'm parking in that space, so I gotta let this person, I don't know if they're gonna, please come by. The fine is $0. So Ram literally has absolutely no reason to not just build a bunch of crazy V8 vehicles. Again, they're already bringing back the Hemi and the 1500. They need to bring back the supercharged V8 in this in red-eye form, and they need to also bring back, or not bring back, but put the V8 in the Gladiator, in the Wrangler, the 5.7. Like, there's so many things that if Ram does them, Stellantis in general, I should say, if they do that, they will be very successful in the US market. If they don't do it, they're going to continue to hemorrhage buyers. Because, you know, as cool as the RHO is, it doesn't have a V8, and Ford gives you both options. So there's my 2 cents. Hopefully they bring the TRX back in again. They got to do a red-eye and make sure it's reasonably priced. It cannot be more expensive than a Raptor R. The Raptor R stickers right now for 115 grand. Ram needs to actually, I'm just gonna say it, this is the truth, they need to be less expensive than the Ford. Not because it's not as good of a truck. I think the Ram's a better truck, but that's the only way they're gonna be able to buy customers back. They have to be less expensive than the Ford. And that's worked with the RHO so far, because you look at the RHO and you get an RHO with the level 1 that comes with pretty much the same equipment as a Raptor, base Raptor, and the RHO is a little bit less expensive than the Raptor, and so a bunch of people, they're jumping in the RHO because you get more performance for a little bit less money. They gotta do the same thing with the TRX. So if the Raptor is 115 grand, TRX red-eye 110 grand. I don't care that the final editions were 125 grand. Just because you sold this for more money back then, and they didn't really sell for that much. I can tell you, dealers had to discount these massively just to get them off the lot, like massive discounts. So red-eye 110 grand. If you do that Ram, you will sell trucks. If you don't do it, you won't. There's my 2 cents.